Kimberly here to talk to you about the value of a savings account. So, I talk a lot about different types of investments on this channel, how it's so important to try to get a big return, and how to determine how much risk you want to take on, and how compound interest helps to make your money grow and grow. So, you want to get the most interest, the biggest return possible. But is there value in having money in a savings account? The answer is absolutely yes. You do want to have some money set aside in a very safe place, like a savings account, so that you have it there for emergency funds. And an emergency is not just going to be, I really need this pair of shoes, or I really need to take a vacation. It is an emergency. I've got to get away. I've got to have a spa treatment today. Those are not the emergencies that I'm talking about. You need to have different money set aside for those type things. In fact, I actually have a fund just for vacations, but we'll talk about that later. So when it comes to a savings account, having that emergency money ready, that is for things like the loss of a job, car repairs, if you have a major house repair, or something that can really sneak up on you and be super expensive, which is a medical expense. Those are some of the main things we want to use an emergency fund for. How much money should you have in that fund? I would suggest you have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. So figure out how much money that you need to spend every month in order to continue going on, and have 3 to 6 months worth of that set aside in a savings account that is very safe. That can be a lot of money. If you spend $5,000 a month, which you can easily do with a family, then that is $15,000 to $30,000 set aside in a savings account. That does not just accidentally happen. So you have to be really intentional and probably work for months, if not years, to get to that point. But it's really important to set that goal so that you have that money ready to prevent you from going into debt when one of these emergencies happen. Now, there's a couple things I want to make sure that you understand when it comes to a savings account. One of those things is, just because your money is sitting in that safe place to where it can't lose any of its value, besides maybe the value compared to inflation, is that you still can earn interest on it. If you're trying to put the money into an account where you're getting little to no interest at all, then you need to change where your savings is. Now, it does vary based on what's going on with the economy and the government. But right now, as I make this video, I'm able to find an account that I'm making more than 4% return on my savings. A few years ago, I remember it was super hard to find an account making 2.5 to 3% return. So it does vary based on what is going on in the world. But try to look for a reputable bank that is offering a high interest rate. And a lot of times those are online banks. I would recommend that you go to nerdwallet.com and look up the top 5 interest bearing savings accounts. NerdWallet is really great at doing the research for you and telling you what the different interest rates are that they offer. So that is a great site to go to that you can trust. A lot of banks offer accounts called money market accounts. Those typically offer a higher interest rate than savings accounts do. The catch is, a lot of times you have to have a pretty high balance in order to earn that interest rate. But that's something to consider, especially if you are saving money to put as a down payment for a home or for a car or something else major. Then you don't want to put that money at risk, but you still want to earn interest on it. So if you're going to do that, I would look into a money market account, or at least a savings account that's earning a lot of interest. Now, if you do find that you've been working really hard to save money and you have more money in your savings account than what you really need for an emergency fund, and you're not saving that specifically for something like a down payment that you're going to need in the next year or so, then this would be the time to start investing for the long term. So don't let, tens of thousands of dollars build up in your savings account and it's just earning 2, 3, 4% interest. If you do not need that for the emergency fund, then start taking that money and consider different investment options. If you want to continue to learn ways to be successful with your money, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay up to date.